Welcome back to Sprocket Man Designs, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that have recently seen my last video, you'll notice that I've added more to my bench again. Basically what I've done, got some nice little connectors, crocodile clips, and what I plan to do today is just create a harness really, so I can connect the solar panels I've got to the motor, just to make sure everything will drive everything else. If you're really unlucky, you'll get to see me take it outside and see if it works. There's no reason it shouldn't. So what I've done, I've already got my soldering iron plugged in, and yes, it's heating up. So I'm just going to strip the ends off these wires, and funnily enough I'm going to connect black to black, red to red, so everybody knows where they are. While I'm thinking about it, the end of the motor's marked as well, so the live is the right hand side. I've just got to remember which is the live coming out of the solar panels. Oh well, because they're a foreign manufacturer, they don't use red and black as live and neutral. Everything is covered in Transit Van, and I mean covered. Oh well, if you're going to go using an angle grinder for ages, you've got to expect a little bit of mess to be left behind, I guess. It does wear thin though. The forever cleaning up, I mean, not the... Oh, I suppose the metal does as well. Okay. Helps if you pick up the right thing when you're trying to strip it. So if you're wondering why I'm using a pocket knife and not a proper wire stripper, it's because I've put my wire stripper somewhere safe and I cannot for the life of me remember where that is. So when in doubt, back to the old school. And if you can hear what sounds like a lawnmower in the background, Mrs. Wife has decided that because it hasn't rained in the last 24 hours, she's going to try and get one last cut in on the lawn before winter gets here properly. I hope she's having fun, that's one job I cannot stand. Actually, I just don't like gardening. I'll make things for the garden, like for example what I'm doing here, but I'm not into all the faffing around with green stuff. I suppose some of the plants are nice if you like that sort of thing, but not really my bag, I'm afraid. Mind you, I'm not always entirely convinced she enjoys it. But, if we all enjoyed only the same thing, nobody would watch this channel. Mentioning which, if you do like what I'm up to and have any ideas, please leave comments below. If this is the first time you visited my channel, welcome. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Okay, hopefully that will be sufficient to get things going. Soldering iron is getting properly hot now. I say that because I can actually smell it. So before I connect these onto here. I need to make sure I've left myself enough room to work. Yeah, it's plenty. Yeah, I meant to throw them on the floor. If you're not chucking it on the floor, you're not working properly. Or at least that's my excuse. So what I'm going to do now is just strip off all the plastic from the clips. It doesn't make any difference which clip goes inside which sleeve. These are here just to isolate them from one another. I've already done a little test run and I know for a fact that they are an epic pain in the behind to get back on. So as a consequence, what I will do is use just a large drill bit like that to hold the jaws open as I slide it back in. Mostly because I'm really not up for that much of a fight today. So, first things first, I'm going to just dip the ends of the wires in soldering flux. It just means that when the solder takes, there'll be less imperfections in, hopefully. Of course, I've said that now. Yes, 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 in you go. Thank you. And what I need what I've just done there, I've just squeezed the ends of the croc clip so it holds the wire steady. And now, in theory, and we all know what happens when I apply theory. You can't actually see what I'm up to there. There we go. So just in the end of the vise here, you can see the croc clip I've just loosely attached with the aid of the pliers. The solder I'm using here is a resin core one, so in principle between that and the flux it should give me a really good connection. And you know what I've gone off and done? I've done all of that and forgotten to put the boot on it. There is no way on this planet that will fit now. Okay, so after having a grade A plank moment, what I'm going to do is just trim off the back edge of the boot. Not the ideal solution, but it should work. Yeah, there we go, that'll do. I wonder if this is heat shrink. No, it's not, it's just rubber. Okay, so on the next one I am actually going to attempt to remember to fit the rubber boot first and hopefully avoid making myself look quite so daft again. Don't hold your breath. I can look daft spontaneously. Right, so that goes there like that, so they're both Okay, so that's the little clamp tightened once again, and once again, and this will be repeated at the other end. What I will do to save you the boredom, probably won't record me doing the other end as well. Looks like quite a good connection all the way through. So what I'm now going to do is, as I mentioned earlier, just put the drill bit in the end there to hold the jaws open while I refit the shroud, and that is what it is meant to have looked like in the first place, if only I hadn't stuffed it up. If I didn't stuff it up, I wouldn't be me, and you know, it'd all make sense, which can't be a good thing. Right, I'll get this other end done. Like I say, I'm sure you can live without watching me do that, unless you like watching really basic soldering, in which case that's up to you. But in a moment I'll show you what it should all look like set up, and then with a bit of luck and the wind in the right direction, there'll be enough sunlight outside to turn the motor around. Let's see how it goes, eh? See you in a sec. Okay, so just soldered the fourth and final one on. Just slip the sleeve over it in the correct manner and not the stupid bodge I had to do earlier because of my lack of memory or IQ points. Some days my lack of memory never ceases to get on my nerves. Right, so for the next trick I've just got to wonder why all of that lot just moved. So turns out I've left a friend a voicemail and I didn't even know that I'd made the call. Hopefully I didn't say anything too entirely stupid. Okay, so I found the solar panel end of what we're trying to do. Just got to find the end where it's all joined together. Right, so what I don't need is that. Actually, I think what I might do at this time is put a little bit of, better plug the soldering iron back in because I have just unplugged that. There we go, so that's the back. Yeah, what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm using a little block connector to connect the two solar panels together. So what I think I will do is try and just wind these together, dip them in the flux and solder them together. And if you're wondering why you might be able to hear my phone buzzing away receiving messages, it's because it's sat on the top of my pillar drill, plugged in and charging. You've got to charge them somewhere, haven't you? and the pillar drill's been feeling left out, so that's lovely. So what I'm now going to do is just get a short length of heat shrink to seal that up so the elements can't get to it and we can't have weird shorts. And it just sits nicely over there. Chuck that back out of the way. It looks like the phantoms are busy in work here today, as things are moving around without any invitation. As long as it doesn't start chucking hammers at my head, I don't mind. And all I've just done there is use cold screwdriver just to squeeze it all shut and make that as watertight as I can get it. So now right then, I've got all good connections there, so I think it's time to open the workshop door and start praying that there's enough sunshine available to make this thing go. Let's see what happens in a minute, hang on. Okay, so just took all the bits outside, hooked it all together, pointed it in an angle vaguely resembling where the sun should be. Only to discover that there's just a little bit too much cloud out there right now, and it didn't do anything. So next plan of action is, next time I've got a day off, And if it starts out cloudless, I will just get the whole lot in the garden. Try and remember to take the memory card from the camera. What am I talking about, the memory card from the camera? Try and remember to take the camera out there. And see if we can get a shot of the motor running. It would be nice if I could, so you can see roughly where I'm going with all this. If I remember, I will also pop the chain wheel onto it so you can actually see the drive part, and then it's moving on to drilling out the bolt holes, securing the bolts themselves with just a little bit of light welding, if I get one more dry day, drill out the holes on the old one so I can actually get a socket onto the nut to remove that, mock it all up, potentially give it one last dry run, plan out how I will be able to fit the big shiny metal plate that you saw me cut back and polish up. Once all that's achieved and I'm happy with the dry run, it's just a case of get it off to powder coat and see how it comes back. And as long as I'm happy with it, we might have one shot of the whole thing working before winter arrives and wrecks everything. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. As I said earlier, feel free to like and subscribe. Any comments are always welcome. Look forward to hearing from you. Take care, guys.